What's happening, Felicia Michaels?
Oh, not much, Joey Diaz. What's happening with you?
You know me. How was your Thanksgiving holiday?
I'm exhausted, I tell you. I switched my whole house around. Like, I had tables set up. I had people coming over here. Jewel was here, who we had on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. I had my blind father, his seeing-eye dog, my bitchy stepmother, and my autistic brother with 2 children, and my babysitter was off.
No.
So, yeah, it was really good.
So you had a good thanks. You have a lot to give thanks for.
I do, by the way, I do.
You did.
Very
You really
good point.
did.
I do.
My Thanksgiving was the same. You know, Thanksgiving is like one of those days, like you do what you want. Either you want action on Thanksgiving or you want it to be a family Thanksgiving.
Right.
And this year,
yeah,
I just
yeah.
want it to be like a family type quiet thing.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on the week and what's going on and how you're rolling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, it was fun. Like when my dad he did the turkey. My dad made the turkey, and as he was stuffing it, I would go behind him and yell out to him, "Yeah, give it to her," because he can't hear and he's blind, But he laughs, he gets it. So it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. And did you guys make food? You guys went out, right?
We made a little food in the morning.
Uh-huh.
So when I got up, I could have something at 12 because I'm very picky about my fucking Thanksgiving. You know the deal. And then about 4, we went over to my friends and sat there. And I didn't even eat turkey.
What?
I had when I went over there, I had because he had like turkey and stuff, but he also had stuff around it like black beans and rice and pork chops. So I had some black beans and rice there. And that was it.
Mr. Fly, come over here. Stop creeping around. That's weird. Don't creep behind Joey like that.
I didn't really fucking, like I said, Thanksgiving was wrong. I didn't even watch football. I watched like the first game for a little while. Like I was just bullshitting. I just got it. I don't know. It didn't feel like Thanksgiving this year. They didn't mediatize it. So it didn't get into your fucking head. They went right from Halloween to Christmas because they thought things were so bad. They eliminated Thanksgiving.
Right.
The day after
That's
Halloween,
true.
they were playing fucking
true.
Christmas commercials.
Yeah.
They said, fuck Thanksgiving. We don't make no money on Thanksgiving.
There was Christmas stuff out before
before Halloween.
Yeah.
So, Target did that. So it didn't even feel like, today I was sitting there and last night was very windy. And you could see like some of the people said there's no color out here. And you could see like the trees are changing color. Did you see that last night at all?
What do you mean? When it was blowing up
yeah,
with the trees?
This morning I got up and the trees had changed colors. There was so much shit. But it's so weird. Like nobody talked about Thanksgiving. I don't even know why I said that about the trees. Who the fuck knows?
Because you love trees.
No, I don't like fucking trees. But it's just
Fuck
so
those
weird
trees.
that like they didn't even publicize it, man. They didn't talk about it. They didn't even tell a story about pilgrims. I didn't even hear one fucking thing about pilgrims. You know what I'm saying?
True.
All the pilgrims
You're
were
right
in
about
Occupy LA and they got kicked the fuck out. Did you see that? Finally, they got kicked out, though. It's all over.
Yeah.
But at the end, it was just.
It's going to change. It's going to shift and be something else.
They got to get out of the 60s. The 60s movement don't work. It's 2011. You know what I'm saying? We got if you're going to fucking go after these corporations, we got to boycott them on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Monday and Tuesday. In the 70s, there was no gas. They had the energy crunch. You don't remember. People were too young. And what they do is they put flags out, like orange. If your plate ended on 5, you didn't get fucking gas. Red, they had green. So every number had like a color. And those were the days you could get gas. And that's what we have to do. Like I've said it before. 3 years ago, they raised the price on airlines to fucking check your luggage. Well, the price of gas went down. They kept that fucking surtax. They were making $3-4 million a year off luggage alone. Boycott those motherfuckers. Don't come crying to me. What do you think? Because you're on the fucking White House lawn, people are going to give a fuck? Hit them where it hurts in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? So it's over. It's over in L.A., for now. I'm going to be the new media man. I'm going to be the new fucking spokesman, I think, because I got ideas. I just don't know how to do the computer stuff.
Well, that's the thing. As you were talking, I was thinking those people that were at Occupy LA need to put down the hacky sack and the hula hoop.
And the weed signs and the
get
tents.
some hacking skills and, get some
You
business
finance the
taken care of.
movement.
Yeah.
You finance the movement. You make cookies. And people buy your brand. And then you take that money, and this is how you finance the movement.
Yeah.
Fidel sold fucking heroin, but he took over Cuba. Eventually, it fucking panned out. That's what you got to do. And attack it from there's 13-year-olds that hack into the White House computer. Hack into American Airlines and switch their fucking flight schedules around and see when your luggage is supposed to be in Baltimore and ends up in fucking Belgium. See if you'll fly American Airlines again. That's what you do. Like what they were doing in Fight Club. They were going after these people, blowing up buildings, whatever. Non-violent. I don't want nothing blown up. Hit them where it hurts. In the fucking pocket.
Oh no, that's what I think is
Hit
gonna
them
happen.
where it
It's
hurts,
gonna
in the
shift.
pocket. You
Yeah.
know what? The first corporations you go after are the ones that are overseas, that are getting the tax breaks, that are really taking the work from our country. See, the reason why Detroit is so fucked up isn't because it's fucked up. It's because all the car dealers got out of there because they figured they go to fucking Hong Kong and get a Puerto Rican kid to fucking weld it for $1 a fucking hour. Those are the people we have to go. Fisher Price, all those corporations that left the United States, they took work with that. Those are the people, and they got the tax brackets. This isn't a fucking political show. Why you get me fired up in this
Well,
shit?
because it's an interesting topic, and I really like to hear what you have to say.
We're back, bitches. Be in the Beast podcast, Felicia Michaels.
Joey Diaz.
What the fuck is really cracking, you sexy motherfucker?
Oh, you're just the sweetest.
Sexiest motherfucker. You put the weight on, you're doing those crunches.
Yeah,
Look at
but
you.
you notice I keep it dark when we record so that
What
I
dark?
look a
You
little
look.
better,
Listen, you're like fucking. You know who Bernard Tony is?
No.
He played basketball for the Sixers. He's a little brother with a lot of teeth. He could shoot in the fucking dark and make 20-footers. That's like you. You look good in the dark. Even with 3D glass, even if I'm blindfolded, I know that little monkey's on fire. You know what I'm saying? That's how I roll, bitches. Real quick, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsors, TaintedVisionArt.com. One of the best fucking websites. I get stoned and just go on them for hours and
I
dream
went on
about
it the other day.
It's
yeah,
fucking neat as
it's very
shit.
cool.
They got the rock posters, you got your vinyl toys, you got some nice prints, and they're having a Black Friday fucking sale. So anything over $100, you get free shipping. End the story in the continental United States. So in your Alaska, you're going to have to walk the fucking package across that river, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Because the train ends in Seattle, motherfucker, in Bremerton. You follow me?
I'm following.
And that's it, man. That's all I got to tell you, Felicia. You look great. Everything is beautiful. What do you got going on this week? Any comedy? What's
Well, last night I performed at Sardo's.
How was it? Cool
for the
as
first
shit.
time. You know what? I was fucking petrified. I gotta tell you because doing a gig like that, it was a lot of fun. But it's you gotta bring it or it's complete humiliation.
Yeah, it's a little bar type thing right here
Right.
in Burbank. It's very small
And they do karaoke after it. And on Tuesdays, I guess they do porn star karaoke.
Porn star
Yeah,
karaoke.
it's really cool. It's actually very cool.
And the owner looks like he's 1,000. He knows Sinatra.
Yeah.
He hung out with Rock Hudson. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
He just
right.
knows fucking everybody. This guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's a very cool place, and it went good, and I like that. So thanks to Brian Monarch for getting me that.
Brian Monarch's a
gig.
good fucking man.
He is, by the way.
You know, I was telling you outside that the last 2 or 3 months, people have been listening to the stories or whatever. And for some reason or another, I can't feel serious when I talk to people with glasses on. It's the weirdest thing, I feel like I'm looking at something like a principal. But anyway, it's so fucked up that I've been getting a lot of emails, and there were more and more about people going away. People like they got busted with weed, or some guy wrote a check, and the last couple of weeks it even intensified. Like, hey Joey, I'm going away for 3 months. What do I expect? I'm going to prison. I'm going to county. I'm going to whatever. And about a year ago, you had the pleasure to go out one night, and you met a young man by the name of George Perez. And even before we had guests, Felicia was saying, I want to get George Perez on the podcast. That's how interesting you seemed to her.
Thank you.
That she kept saying, we got to get George Perez on the podcast, something about George. And when we started doing guests 2 months ago, I always had you in mind. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, my little brother from Payaso Comedy Slam, George Boom Boom fucking Perez. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what's up, man? What's going on, everybody, on the podcast Beauty and the Beast?
Felicia
Feel me?
Michaels looking better than ever.
Hell
All
yeah,
right.
man.
Nice to see you, George.
You're the reason I've been out.
What do you mean?
When you see a real woman, bro, because I'm used to seeing women in green outfits.
Yeah, when you see a woman. Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Then you're like, whoa, shit.
Look at Felicia Michaels looking good. I ain't going back to fucking county no more.
No.
Yeah.
I ain't hanging out with the brothers and putting on magic shave no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm going straight.
Joe, you're the sweetest. We'll spoon later.
All right. But it's so weird that George Perez, you have one of the most interesting fucking stories. When was the first time you ever got arrested? Let's get this out of the way.
Shit, first time.
Were you a juvie?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I never got in trouble as a
Okay,
juvie.
you know what? The first time I got arrested, I think I was in 5th grade, and we broke into the school and we stole our teacher's marbles because she was being a bitch.
And they charged you for stealing marbles?
No, man. Some older kid did it, and he got caught, and he told on me. And then my dad came to the office, and they were like, the principal was like, your son's not telling who did it. And my dad's like, get in the car. Because my son ain't gonna fucking tell, so you can have all his friends beat him up so you can find out. You investigate. So that was the first time I went to jail. Went to juvenile hall, dude.
How long did they put you in juvie for?
Just 3 days.
Oh, that's not that bad.
I was scared, but it was cool.
Now, when did you become a comedian? What year did you exactly become a comedian?
Damn. I don't know, 2003?
And when did I meet you?
I met you in my 8th month or 10th month in the game. I remember because Felipe Esparza is like, hey, Joey Diaz spoke good about you, bro. I was like, what? Joey Diaz? Where? Yeah, I met you at that one place. I was actually in the crowd. You were talking about eating my girlfriend's pussy with chopsticks.
Not your girlfriend.
He drops it down politely.
Yeah, he drops it down politely.
But it was on stage.
And then we shot Payaso Comedy Slam.
Yeah, we shot Payaso Comedy Slam.
November 2005 or something like that. Was it something like that?
Yeah, it was.
Payaso was a show that was done for Showtime. And we had no idea. We just showed up to pick up a check in San Bernardino the day after Thanksgiving. And 6 months later, we get the call that the show's
going to crack.
It's going to crack, and we were excited. But something happened. Like, you got into comedy in 2003. You get this Showtime thing with us.
Yeah.
The thing airs. It's the highlight of your life. And here's where it kicks in. Holla at me.
All right, dog. So, I'm rookie in the game and shit. Jeff Garcia's hooking me up. I'm getting love. I'm meeting everybody. And I get that MTV Yo Mama.
Okay.
So that blew me up. And then they needed a cholo on Mind of Mencia. So I got that. So then Alex Raimundo hits me up to do Payaso with you guys. So, sorry, let me rewind. So when I'm filming MTV Your Mama, I come out and this guy that I fought at the park recognizes me from TV. But I kind of broke his face and shit. So,
Okay, but you have to backtrack here.
Okay.
So what happened?
You got into a fight with somebody.
Okay, so I'm at the park. Hey, case closed. I can talk about it. So I'm at the park. You play basketball. You know how men are. Like, if you bump us, we're going to be like, oh, I'm going to get this one on the way back.
Right, later on.
So I'm kind of bumping this guy because he's playing me aggressive. So I'm getting him off, and then he throws an elbow on me. And I was like, what? And let me kid you this. And I mean, hold on, let me kid you not. Another Choloism's coming out. My son's sitting on the bench, bro, watching me play. I got my little 7-year-old. Yeah, it's my dad. You know what I mean? Because this is the park where my neighborhood is at. Like, this is where I grew up. So we're playing whoop-de-woo. Then he starts, like, pushing, like, fouling. So I take a step back. All right. This guy swings on me, man. Dog. I duck. Came up with one of them crazy uppercuts, Street Fighter all you can. And that was it. It was a wrap. I started pounding him, and I finally realized where I was, and I jammed. I got my son, and I jammed. I jammed. And
that was the end.
that was it. Never heard about it again. I'm working at California Girls. Remember when I was a DJ at the strip club?
Right.
So I'm in there and stuff. All right, guys, coming up next week on My Dad Was Never There. Boom! The cops break the fucking door down. They're in there with guns. All right, get down. I'm like, what the fuck, dog? I only got weed. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on. And they take me in.
But he had seen you on TV.
He's seen me on TV.
He seen you on Showtime or on
No,
on
he's
TV?
seen me on MTV Yo Mama.
So then he what did he do? Did he call the police?
Well, he called it. I guess there's like a gang unit investigator.
Okay.
From what I heard, the cops told me that you have a year to file a complaint. He filed the complaint the next day, so Medi-Cal would cover the coverages. Since they didn't know who I was, it didn't matter because it was under investigation now. So once he identified me, it was like, let's go get him.
And then when they arrested you, what did they charge you with?
When they arrested me, they tried to charge me. They booked me on assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated assault, street terrorism, and a great bodily injury because I guess he had to get surgery. Like his eye fell out. I was tripping, man, because I don't know. I was in a different state of mind. I'm a comedian now. You know what I mean? I was like, what? Even when the cops picked me up, they're like, hey, man, you supposed to be a gangster? Is this the right dude? I'm wearing a Nintendo jacket. So, yeah, man, it was a trip. But this is the crazy part. So they booked me. I go to court. You didn't go to court the next day real quick.
To get charged?
Yeah, the judge was
Formally.
like, all right, check this out. You're being charged with this. You're looking up to 12, 13 years. I was like, what the fuck? I call my brother, man. I tell him, hey, because we're still filming MTV Your Mama, too. So guess who bails me out, dog? Wilmer. Bails me out to finish the shows. So we do that. Now I'm fighting this case that I keep postponing. You know, they want to postpone because they get paid. I have a DA. I mean, I have a public defender. So, but yeah, bro. And then I'm out and I'm filming all this stuff. That's when they give
shot Payaso.
I shot Payaso.
Okay.
And then I went to court 6 months later and I went to prison.
And they told you right there, how much time did they give you?
No, they don't tell you how much time. They give you a sentencing date. Like you go to court.
Right. Then they give you a sentencing date.
Yeah, so the judge, like I had a jury and shit. I was like, you know, I'm gonna beat this. You know what I mean? You know, when you look at the jury, you're like, what's up? You know, you're cocky. This is my 3rd year into comedy. I've been on TV 3 times. I'm cocky, dog. You know what I mean? If I see George Lopez, I would have walked up to him and gave him, what's up, dog? You know what I mean? I'm cocky. And all of a sudden, man, they were like, guilty.
How fucked up is that feeling when you walk into court thinking you're going to walk out?
Man, it's like when you were little and you got caught stealing, but you still have the item on you. And they just pulled you in the office. They're like, there's some M&Ms missing. And you're like, they're in my fucking sock. I wish they dissolved. I was just hoping it went away, bro. Like, you know, I felt like I was going to go, but I knew I wasn't. You know, because like my suit didn't fit right that day. I'm in a suit. I have hair. I'm trying to look as human as I can to what society wants it to be. So I'm in there and shit, and boom! I'm in the fucking county jail with the suit on. Everybody looking at me like, who the fuck are you?
You know, it's the weirdest thing because there's nothing like going in. Like they called me on the Friday before the sentencing on Monday at 4:00, and they go, Joey, the Department of Corrections turned you down. The local halfway house, they turned you down. They're not going to accept you with the machine gun charge. You're going to go away. It's up to the judge. The judge has the last thing. But they called me Friday at fucking 4. You know, I got no leg to stand on. I got a half hour to make calls. So,
yeah.
You know, so I just did what you would do. I went and got a fucking 8-ball. You know, if I'm going away Monday, I'm going to get this party started till the end. They're going to reel me into that fucking court. And I remember going in, and all of a sudden, like Saturday, my buddies called. They're like, bro, we heard you going to sentencing. We're flying in. So my gorilla buddies flew in. They're like, bro, what's the story? We're going to go in there with you. We're going to tell the judge you're a good guy, and we're going to take you home. We got an ounce of coke in our pocket. I put on my Armani suit that morning at 8:30. I went down there. I'm like, I'm going to beat this. You know, I'm going to walk in there and be me and razzle the judge. And there's no feeling when the guy just looks at you and he goes, I'm going to impose my sentence on you. And he lowers his, and you don't even hear right.
Yeah.
Because I heard 6 years, Department of Corrections. And I couldn't hear. I kept thinking like, what the fuck did he just say?
Yeah.
Come on. And I turned to the judge. I go, they got an ounce of blow. Let me ask the attorney if he could keep me out for an hour. Just all I need is an hour. You know what I'm saying? To get talked in to move to Bolivia. But I knew I couldn't run because America's Most Wanted was on. So I knew I couldn't run. I knew that they're always going to get you 40 years from now. So I was stuck. When that motherfucker said that to me, I was like, ask the judge if I could stay out for till tomorrow to take care of stuff. And when that motherfucker picked up that stick and he went, bam, like all your energy goes out of you. Like I went in the cell and just went to bed. In fact, I had a little Coke Rock in my suit jacket. I crushed it up right under the cell, right under the camera. I blasted that motherfucker, and I fell asleep. It's like drinking 6 Red Bulls and going to sleep.
Yeah.
Because my body was done. Like the suspense was over. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking jail. And there's nothing I could do. Nobody could get me out of here. There's no window. There's nothing. That's your release date, and that's it. That's fucking it. You know, it's just, and people have no idea. You were saying outside, when did you know?
When did I know? Well, you know what? They put you in the county, right?
Right.
You go to the county. They got this thing called the loop. In LA, it takes 3 days to get a bed. 36.
Really?
No, 3 days. So I'm sorry. 72 hours to get a fucking bed. You're sitting on concrete. You got your clothes on. People are using shoes for pillows, toilet paper. They're throwing food in their oatmeal cookies, bags. Bologna's the shit, though. I love the bologna.
Bologna sandwich.
Bologna's the best.
So how many people would it be a big holding cell with lots of
Well,
people?
it would say like limit 10, and there'd be like 30 people.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's fucking,
Yeah.
they're overcrowded, you know, but this is what and I know George's a smart guy because they didn't do this to us. We put ourselves in that position.
Yes.
And that's the position when you fucking know.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing you can do. This is the fate I accepted. I don't want people to listen to think that we're here saying that they did this to us.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I said, I just want to lighten people's load with this for people to know. But you know, George, you got out And since you've been out, you brought me back to life because you're a hustler.
Oh, thank you,
And it's
man.
so weird when I got in there, somebody said to me, and I wasn't even into comedy, and this black dude said to me once, he goes, bro, can you imagine if you took all the energy, you run around, fucking around in the daytime, I got to meet this guy to pick up 60 to go pick up a blow and go break into this house. He goes, if you took all that energy and just put it into something good, what would happen? And that fucking hit me like just bricks. Like, he was right. You know, you wake up in the morning, and before you got into comedy, what was your day like? What was your mind like?
In prison?
No. On the outs. Before you got into comedy, you had no fucking purpose. Because that's what comedy does to guys like me and you.
Yeah.
It gives you a purpose. And the better we do on stage, the more of a reason you have to cross over. And because it's a motherfucker to be in this game for 6 years, all of a sudden they get a knock on your door and them to say you're going away for 2 years. But prison is like a 24-hour-a-day comedy show.
Yeah.
Like
Man.
you got stronger. When you come out, you're a better comedian because you're in there practicing.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers love humor because that's all they got. So
and you're so mentally strong now because you're not drinking, you're not smoking, you're working out, you're finding out camaraderie.
Let me ask you this though: when that happened, and like you had an agent by then, like what happened to your business? Obviously, you have to go away. But I mean, like, did people say when you get out, we'll be here for you? Like, was there support?
Oh
for
man,
you?
yeah. You know what? I do have to say that there was a lot of love, man. There was a lot of love. You know, Joey Diaz, Steve Fly. I didn't know you back then. My boy Edwin San Juan was doing shows for me, and they were sending me money because hey, you need to eat. But yeah, you know, Frank Kelly, Dan Godfrey from the Improv. You know, they came open arms. You know. And when I first got out, it was a trip because I didn't do comedy when I first got out. You have to prove till you have a real job. So I was doing construction again. And then people were looking at me like, hey, dog, ain't you on TV and shit? And other haters are like, hey, go get some more concrete. I'll get your ass out of here. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird.
How long did it take before you did comedy again?
It took me 2 months. Where I just told my POA, man, I'm gonna do comedy. If you need a pay stub, I'll give you a pay stub. And he's just like, do what you have to do. He noticed I wasn't a druggie. I was taking care of everything in program. And true story, bro. Manny Maldonado booked me to do a show 2 days before your show. And I was kind of like, man, I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling. For some reason, I didn't want to go to that show. And then when I did your show, excuse me, I felt real comfortable because I was scared. You know, I had to follow you, Edwin. I was like, damn. And it took me 15 minutes to find out.
you're back.
No, like, hey, dog, you've been here before.
Yeah, you've been here
Fight.
before. You're back.
Yeah,
this is nothing.
fight. But yeah, man, it was cool.
You ever want to get locked up again, John? Nothing. Like, you never want
No, I never want to get locked up again, but there's times that, like, I miss people because I met some real good people in there, you know? And I just like, damn, like, can I just go to Yard for an hour?
Can I go visit? Yeah.
You know, can I just show up and be like, hey, dog, you know what I mean? I got some new jokes I heard. But you know what? I got a lot of buddies that still write me, and I got a lot of love, man.
Are you allowed when you get out of prison to go visit your prison?
No, you can't visit as long as you're on parole and probation.
That's what I was watching Sons of Anarchy the other day.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Come on, man.
And the guy's on parole. And I told my wife, I go, that's bullshit. You can't visit.
Yeah.
It's like when Tony Soprano went to visit Junior. You
Yeah.
can't visit.
Hell
If you got
no.
arrested one time, they ain't going to let you in there.
No.
Especially if it's like a family, they ain't going to let you the fuck in there. I don't know
Yeah.
what. You know,
A family under
good-looking-
investigation.
Yeah, the good-looking blonde guy in Sons of Anarchy is on fucking bail, and he goes to visit the guy in jail with the one eye on him. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on here? What is this shit? You know, but you know what? It's like one thing I really always dug about you that I didn't like about the system, because when you get locked up and you're in there more than 6 months, you start listening to a lot of people that have been incarcerated, and that's all they know. And they'll start telling you about the scams of life. You know, when you come out, you're disabled.
Yeah.
You get $600 a month. You know,
Hell
they had all
yeah.
these programs. I'll never
Yeah.
forget, a week before I got out,
Uh-huh.
they hit me with this pamphlet. This is Colorado, where there's nice people, and they're like, "You should look at this and sign up for everything. We'll get you like $850 a month, and you'll never have to work again because you're mentally handicapped if you went to prison and all this." And I was like, "What? I don't ever want this stink on me again." And even like when I walked out of that yard, like I went for jobs, and they ever been convicted of a felony? No. Have I been arrested? No. There was a couple places that called me and like, "Joe, we really want to arrest you, but do you know anything about this? And they'd have fucking a scroll of charges, and I'd say, yeah, and they go, we can't hire you, but we didn't know about this. You should have told us or whatever. But in my mind, I was never a felon. It was a mistake I did, and I wasn't going to take the fucking label because that to me was the most important thing. You fall in the hole. It's no different than having cancer when you're 25 and beating it. And now you're not going to go back to smoking cigarettes or drinking soda or the cancer sugar. It's just a point, but it's so weird. Like, once I got out of there, I wanted to get the fuck out of there. Like, I knew if I had to die for a cause and kill somebody or something that was breaking my balls, then it'd be something different. But what I could control, I was out of there. I did not want to be tagged as a felon. No. It meant so much to me to strive after that, to prove to the judge, because I kept in touch with my judge. I always wrote him letters. I love writing letters to people that blow their mind. Yeah. And even like I was on probation till like 96, but I became friends with the DA at a car wash. Damn. And one day I just said to him, bro, I'm on probation. It's killing me, dog. He's like, have your lawyer write up a motion and I'll sign it and you're off. And I was like, all this
just
shit
do
for
the rims.
Because I couldn't wait. Yeah, I couldn't wait. It was the weirdest thing. It was the Puddle Car Wash in Boulder, Colorado. And here I am on, because when I got signed out, they read whatever my sentence. So I got sentenced to the Department of Corrections. But then he goes, come back in a year. Let me know you don't get in trouble, and I'll reevaluate your sentence.
Oh, that's
cool. So they reevaluate to 4 years the community corrections, which is fucking worse. They come to your house. They come to your workplace of business. But it's so weird, like in the whole time that you came out, you're not one of those guys. You have flavor to you. And I know that if something was going to happen, you're with me till the wheels fall off, but you're not one of those guys. You're striving to be a better comic and a better person. And it's weird that a lot of people don't do that. They get institutionalized, and that's all they know, and that's all. And they don't even feel comfortable on the outside. Can you imagine it?
Now, when I first got out, it was weird.
It's weird.
It was
very weird.
Well, I wanted to ask you this though. When you went in, when did you change about? Because you must have had a change of like, I can't be beating the fuck out of people. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
What is it that you addressed that you felt changed for you in prison?
Well, you know what? I didn't think that till like my later year, because my first day in prison, we walk in and it's fucking, prison is so different from the county. You walk in, it's cold outside, the grass is wet, you could tell it's never been stepped on, so that means no one leaves the building. You walk in, your enemies are right beneath you. They're letting know, yeah, those are your enemies, and you guys go up there. And I went into a cell where the guy that was there before me punched a cop. So they threw him out, put him in the shoe, and they're like, they just throw him in. So they raided my cell an hour after I got there. They take you outside, put you through a metal detector in sandals and boxers, and it's like 20 degrees. This is Wasco. Your mentality changes later when you're like, all right, I know what I did. I've listened to people, you get used to it. And later I was just like, you know what? I fucked up. I have to accept that as a man, that I can no longer just punch people because they threaten me. Not to say, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, you'll pay the price for it, and I did 3 years for it. So now you get to punch me first and it's cracking.
3 years of your fucking life.
Yeah.
Like, for me to do that stunt cost me 2 years of my life that you'll never get back.
Straight up.
I mean, and 3 years was what you did. Not to mention a year of going to court and pissing a bottle, and talking to this guy and talking to that guy and talking to this guy. And, it's so much paperwork.
Yeah.
Like, you have to sign up for this and do this. And it's like to get a DUI now. You got a DUI 20 years ago, you paid. Now you got to go to class, this, that. They make it hard for you. But the thing that fucked me the most about being locked up was taking away my, like I've always told Felicia, was people turning the light on me at 6 in the morning and kicking my bed. That to me was the biggest disrespect to me as a man and as a human being that I've ever had. I would have rather you just put your dick in my ass while I'm sleeping and kick my motherfucking bed and put the light on. Because that's when you realize, because if somebody does that to you on the outside, even your wife, the third time, you will jump off that bed and get in her face and go, what the fuck is your problem?
Yeah.
What is your malfunction? If your kid did that to you, Felicia, 3 days in a row.
I was just thinking I better
3
stop
days
doing
in a
that.
row.
I was totally just thinking that.
It's not you. You're a mom. That's your power stick. That's your upper hand. But that's fine when you're 13, not when you're a grown man. Not when you're a grown man, you got hair on your balls and you have to
yeah.
wipe your ass and shave, and people come up, get up, Perez, boom, and they kick your fucking bed, you know? And that to me was the fucking hole in my heart. Like, these people would not get away with this under other situations, but I also put myself in this situation.
Yes.
And that was the not the honor, what's the word, the humbleness of it. Like, I got very humbled after that.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't like. I didn't like the thing I didn't like. But prison, George, tell him. We could do it. Look at George. We could do it standing on our head. I'll go there right now with a bag of dope in the cell, smoke, watch a black and white TV, and be happier than I've ever been in my life. Because you know where you stand.
Yeah.
You know that me, Fly, and him, we got a bag of chips. Fly's the chef. So Fly's going to take the
we
fucking...
ain't talking to Fly if we go to prison in California.
Fly, right. Fly's going to take the fucking... Fly's going to take the... It's the weirdest thing because Fly's going to take the iron beam out of the iron.
Make a stinger.
And make a stinger and make cheese for nachos.
Yes.
And he's going to make
Warm
nachos, and we're going to both chip in a quarter for his nachos. And then I'm going to bring the Hershey bars, and George's going to bring the 3 sodas.
Exactly.
And you know where you stand. That's as simple as life gets. That's honor amongst thieves. You know where you stand. You know, the big... Remember when you ever spend a holiday behind there?
Man,
to really teach
3
you.
of them.
To really teach you when you're
I went
Christmas.
I went to prison on Christmas fucking Eve. That's when the bus came.
Can you believe that?
Oh, really?
Can you believe
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Oh,
I was in because you're in the county and they call it the chain. They'll go, all right, everybody up. They'll say, roll it up. Like, what? What do you mean roll it up? Roll it up. It's like, no, I'm not rolling it up. They're like, hey, you're leaving. I'm like, wow. So you just say late. Boom. Christmas Day, I'm in prison.
A fucking bus eating a fucking bologna sandwich.
Yep.
wow.
And to some people, that's just another day in their life.
Yeah.
To me, it was the bottom. Like, I've been under a rocket ship at a park with my nose falling off, putting Coke rocks in my nose with $2 in my pocket. I thought that was the bottom. I thought being at my mother's wake was the bottom of my life. The bottom of your life is when just somebody else has control of your life. There's no feeling like it. There's nothing worse than somebody has control of your life. Somebody tells you when to eat. Somebody tells you when to sit in your bed and be counted.
Yeah. Someone tells you get naked. I think you have something on you.
Yeah. Somebody tells you another man looking at you.
Yeah.
I've never even I've never even digested rape. I think it's a horrible crime. I just throw myself on you and fuck you. You imagine a man, you know, whatever. We're not even talking about that angle of it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the demons that exist in you when you're doing time. Are they're the most enlightening demons in the world. And even you learn from it or run with it. Like for me, it was eye opening. I wasn't scared. I had a great time. I felt bad when people had to come visit me. You know, the look on their face.
Oh yeah.
That's the terrible look when people have
Did
to
you
come
have
visit
a lot
you.
of visitors?
You know what? I was very lucky, man, that my girlfriend came because like they give you slots. Like you can't get a visit every weekend. You get 2 a month, and you get them for 2 hours. But you know, I had a little hookup and shit. You know what I mean? Throw a little Hershey on the side, you get another out. So yeah, man, she would come with my daughter and my son, and it was cool the first time. But then later on, they're looking at you like, fucking line for 2 hours. I get searched by this guard. They got guns on the kids. I gotta go to the bank to get quarters because you can only take quarters. They search you like crazy. Yeah, it's worse than the airport.
And 4 hours of driving and sit over here and stand here and I had a hookup because I've realized that if you worked in the kitchen, you wouldn't have visitation on Saturday and Sunday. You could fuck.
Yeah, we couldn't do that, but they was doing that.
I had visitations on Monday and Tuesday, and there was only 3 other people in the whole fucking prison. So he'd go to one corner, I'd go to the other corner, I'd go to the other corner, and I'd watch her going up and down. She'd be going up. I tell my wife to come in at the girlfriend at the time with no panties on, and they were allowed to bring food in.
Yeah, they
so
used
at the
to back in
time,
the
my
days.
tight friend was Torrey Powell. He was a Crip out in L.A., cripping like a motherfucker. And he came, and he hated the slobs and shit, and I hated the Bloods, and it was fucking crazy to see that whole. But this kid had 7 girlfriends. And each of them had a car. That's how much money his brother was making. His name was Torrey Powell. I just looked him up on Facebook. It was his son. I go, are you the Torrey that was locked up with me? He goes, no, that's my dad. But it was amazing. His thing was Nutter Butters like a motherfucker. And he would get Nutter Butters. I would get like Coke Cuts. And we would have parties. Like that was like a party, like cold cuts, like Christmas, like what you got, bro.
Yeah, prison is a real big party.
It's a real big
at the
party.
end, you're like, fuck, I have to stay here.
Yeah, but at the end you can't go home. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow!
Like it's like daycare. Like let's play wiffle ball,
Yeah.
and you're out there, and all of a sudden, they remind you. But it was, I see you, and I could tell that the experience humbled you.
Oh, it did, brother.
And it made you a better man, and it
did.
makes you look. And you know, it's weird. She was saying that your friends support you. It's so weird when you get a letter in that. It's so weird what happens to your life when you go away. And
yeah, you know, Felipe Esparza wrote me 4 fucking times.
I wrote you once or
really?
twice.
Yeah. But you know what's crazy is he's wrote me more than he's given me spots since I've been out. Just to let you
But
know.
a letter.
That's how it is, isn't it? That's how it fucking.
But you know
is.
what's crazy is he's writing me and he's telling me all this stuff that's going on, and I would read every fucking letter like 10 times.
10 times.
Just to see, like, hey, dog, did something else happen? You know, but yeah, man, you know what's crazy? I was watching you and T, like The Longest Yard would come out all the time in prison.
And they watch that shit. That's their movie in there.
Yeah.
That's their fucking movie.
That's the movie.
That's their anthem and shit.
Hey, The Longest Yard
Dog,
in
I
prison.
see people that come up to me like, dog, I was in county and you came on Thanksgiving Day, dog.
Yeah.
Solid, dog. Give me your number. I'm going to send you something. It's amazing. I know when somebody's been locked up, how they look at me and they're like, dog, you saved my life on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And nobody
They love
believed
prison
me.
movies. That's what they relate to.
Yeah.
So here you are in a fucking prison movie. They relate to that
So
shit.
you saw him in when you were in prison?
Yeah, I seen him on the big
How'd
screen.
that make you feel? Were you
I
like,
was telling everybody I know him. They're like, whatever, dog, whatever. I'm like, that's Joey Coco. They're like, whatever, man.
You know, one of the funniest stories ever, Joe. When Joe Rogan came out, he had a buddy that was crazy like us. That's why Joe keeps me around. He's like, dog, I had this dude that you and him would have been fucking a team together. He was a pool hustler, drug addict, and he blew Joe's mind. And he's like, bro, this guy would smoke crack before he shot pool and in front of Joe.
No
Which he's
way.
like fucking, you know.
Yeah.
Dog, he would melt if you brought a straw out in front of him. He would just melt. You know, this guy would smoke crack with a torch in front of him in 1990. And he was telling me that when he was doing news radio, they locked him up. That kid, they got locked up in Boston. And he had news radio coming in. He's like, dog, that's my dog's show. I'm going to call him right now and shit. And he called Joe and he goes, I'm in jail watching. And he goes, dog, that's the only episode I didn't do. I did 104 episodes. They shot 105. So the dude kept saying, where's your buddies at? He's like, he's coming, dog. He's coming. He was never on that episode. So you imagine, you're like, that's my buddy.
Damn.
And he wouldn't. So that's big. Like if you
Yeah.
fuck up in jail, they all laugh at you and they giggle at
Hell
you. It's
yeah.
like it's an extension of when you shit your pants in the 3rd grade. They goof
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
It just multiplies.
It's like
they just torture you.
Sandlot to the 10th degree.
To
well,
the
let me ask you this: did you do comedy?
Yeah, you know what? I did. I got recognized by a lot of guards, and they were. I was in the substance abuse program. It's called a SAP. You go there to get halftime. You do this program that you have to do essays, talk in front of people, do the 10 steps and all that. So I did that, and then the warden noticed that I finished the program, and he goes, "Hey, would you like to do a show for SAP?" I guess everybody from regional Sacramento came, so I did a show for them, and it was cool.
Yeah.
They gave me a microphone and everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but then the next day on the yard, everybody was like, "Hey, make me laugh," and you're not allowed to talk to all the racists. So I was like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was weird.
Wow. What's the first thing you did when you got out? The very first thing.
The very first thing I did when I got out,
Yeah.
I went to go eat.
Where at?
I ate at Super Antojitos in Santana, and it's now burned down. Oh, I'm so glad I ate it before it burned down.
Yeah.
I haven't eaten real food. So I had carne asada with avocado, rice, and beans, and a big fucking 32-ounce kawama. And I was faded like in half an hour. And then we went to Disney Walk. I was starting to trip because people were getting too close to me. You know, the kids were like trying to be all touchy. I'm like, hey, back up. Something might happen. You know what I mean?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And then I haven't got laid in 3 years. So I'm like, let's go home. And no, man, it was cool.
What did you learn about yourself in there, George?
You know, I learned about myself that I used to be a very selfish person.
Oh wow.
You know, I wasn't selfish because, you know, a man, he's never selfish to his friends. He's always selfish to the people that love him. And then I realized, like, you know what, man? Everybody's doing these things for me, and look what I'm doing for them. And I was like, boop. You know what I mean? So that's, like, it's a trip, bro. Me and my brothers don't get along. But when I got locked up, they came out. So now it's kind of like, what's up? We're back. You know what I mean? I told them, see what I did for the family? I got us together.
Sometimes it's funny because I dated this girl for 3 years and her father wouldn't talk to me. My father wouldn't fuck. I go up there, how you doing, Mr. King? Nice to see you. Great. Nice, go eat. And all of a sudden I got locked up, and she goes, I told my father and he wants to come see you. And after that, I got locked. Him and my respect got. But it's funny how you think going to prison is bad. Like at first I thought it was something bad. And if it wasn't for prison, I would have never became a stand-up because it solidified my audience. Like people would listen. When people would say, go up there on Thursday nights, because the projector would always break. It's concert night. So they would, instead of watching in those days it was the Cosbys and something else.
Okay.
So either you could watch the Cosbys or you go to the cafeteria and they'd have movie night, like dumb fucking movies, like 10 years old.
Yeah.
And the projector would always fucking break.
Yeah.
And it would make me go up and do stand-up, and it was so weird that I learned that in there. Like, I didn't know. I didn't fucking know what stand-up was. I thought you just went up there and talked. I didn't think you wrote jokes. And, you know, you only, in those days, in the 70s, you only see stand-up the guy once. You know, you see him on the Tonight Show, and you wouldn't see him again. So I didn't know what the guy talked about tomorrow night. So it wasn't until 3 months that I would do my little Thursday night to the guy that killed his wife and her husband for cheating on him and shit. Some crazy dude that was a librarian. You know those dudes? They don't say much in jail. They have glasses. And they read books. They just don't say nothing. But you know they're dangerous as fuck.
Yeah, they're with the business. They're with the business.
They're with the business. So nobody talked to this fucking librarian. And nobody even peeped in there. And one day he came over to me. He gave me a notebook. And that killed me, Felicia. Killed my insides. That this guy killed his wife and her lover. But he took the time to scam a notebook for me.
Hell yeah.
This guy had 20
that's contraband.
years. That's contraband.
Wow.
He was willing to risk like
His
2 years,
job.
his job, to let me be a stand-up comic. I never explained it like that. I always explained it.
I know, because you've told that story before.
I told it.
Yeah, but we've been in the same
We've been in the same
from
system.
that point of view. Wow.
I never, and I fucking destroyed me. This guy went into a bedroom, cut his wife's head off, and stabbed the motherfucker 80 times. And he's willing to give me a notebook for me to write jokes. And when he gave it to me, because he read about comedy, obviously. I never, I read about stupid shit. He came to me and goes, no, you're supposed to write every day. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't write. When I go up there, I just talk. And it blew his mind. He goes, whoa, 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 whoa. You mean for the last fucking couple months, you just been going up there off the top of your head? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, bro, when I get out of here, I'm your manager. I mean, it brought life to this guy. He had 20 years. What the fuck did he have to live for? He had 15 left. I would walk into the library happy, and he would tell me, bro, you're a little too happy for this fucking place in the mornings. Some people aren't that fucking happy here.
Yeah, that's real talk.
Some people ain't that fucking happy, so stop whistling, cocksucker. Some people here got 20. You got 2. Yeah, it's hit home. It really hits home with you. Like,
it does.
People came up to you. Felicia, can you imagine if I say to you, Felicia, when I come over here, no good mornings, all right? I'm not in the fucking mood. That's what they would say to me, because some people are just not in the fucking mood for that shit.
Like, hey, don't get at me till 10, dog.
Yeah, don't even play that shit. Cuteness. We don't want no jokes.
Unless it's your boy from out. If it's your boy from the street, I'll shut the fuck up, Joey. Come here.
But it's, I cherish my time in prison every day. I think about it, even if it's something.
Do you still have nightmares, bro? I've been having nightmares, man.
Like
when you first got out.
First year, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I was get arrested. Well, if you're fucking around in the daytime and you go to sleep with that phobia in your brain.
Okay.
You know how many times? Because nothing hits you until you smoke a joint and go home at night. You smack somebody in the street in the daytime. You go to Rouse and smack somebody. You go home at night. You sit down. You take your shoes off. You smoke that joint while you're trying to watch the news. It's like, I fucking smacked somebody today. The cops are going to come kick my fucking door down. So for 4 days, you're living with this fear that something's going to happen. I didn't want that anymore. I didn't want that. When I got into comedy, don't get me wrong. When I got out, I was still fucking around till 98. I was just running on fumes. I was just running on fumes. The good Lord said, we took you to jail for a couple of years. We'll give you 2 years to do what the fuck you need to do. Then I got arrested for shoplifting that tent in Idaho. And I got arrested. You know what I'm saying? I was on the road, a triple run, dog. Fuck it. I'm not going to stay in a hotel $80. I'll shoplift a tent. And I wasn't even shoplifting them then. I was just taking them off the rack and doing returns.
Yeah.
And they would say, we're not giving you the money. So I would walk out with it. I'd just walk out with it. They caught me and whatever. And I was still on the line. And then it dawned on me one day, I do all this fucking work and I'm going to blow it all one day by something stupid. By something stupid. And that's kept me honest the last 15 fucking years, to be honest.
That's good, brother.
No, but that's the same thing I see with you.
Thank you.
What are you clapping for? This ain't
I'm
Disneyland?
I'm on my second year in 7 days.
God bless you,
Wow.
dog.
Wow.
God bless you, dog.
What has been the scariest part? The scariest part of that 2 years.
Of being out.
Uh-huh.
You know what? Sometimes I'm not. You know, you're so trained to have other people like open the door for you, or like, I still eat at that certain hours. Like I'm just I'm programmed, and that's been the worst, the scariest of like, I would go in the shower with my sandals on. I would wake the,
Oh wow! Really?
I would wake the kids up early. Hey, get your asses up, man! It's time. We got to go to yard. Like, get up. I'll take them. It was weird. It's just you're like in jail for you to get people's attention. It's like, hey, radio. That means everybody. Like I'd be just weird little things would happen.
What's been the happiest point?
The happiest point?
Where you were like, fuck yeah, this is why.
Just going to my schools, my son's graduation, my kids is like things where they're like, where their friends go, hey, that's your dad? Fuck is he been? And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm back. You know what I mean? That Christmas, the first Christmas when I got out, that was it. Yeah, it was cool, man. Family.
It's been it's quite interesting. Like I said, there's not a day that goes by that I don't digest two parts of it, a giggle.
Yeah.
You giggle about like being in county.
When lockup comes up on TV or something and you're like, man.
Like I remember going to Boulder jail, and for the first 3 weeks, like I was running the place. Like you wear your own clothes. They would leave the cell open. You call long distance. You know, I wouldn't drink my milk. When you don't drink your milk, you could trade that shit for anything.
Exactly.
3 things of milk at night? Shit. I would drink Kool-Aid like a motherfucker. I had 22 Kool-Aids. You want a milk? You gotta give me 2 Kool-Aids, dog. So I always had It's amazing the different system.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you're at the ground level of where that shit. You're back to being a caveman, pretty much. You're trading
Straight
for
up.
cigarettes. You know, you can only have a certain amount of money in your pocket, and there's different ways to bend the system, and you just get sick of bending the system one day.
Yeah.
One day you're like, how long am I gonna fuck with this for?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I learned about prison is you have to be a man and you have to find your food. Those are the 2 big principles of being a man, because a man is an honest person that's respectful. And finding your food is because, hey, dog, you got to eat. You know what I mean? And like it's a hustle, you know, like you said, you could trade your soups. It's that's a revenue in there, cash. Money's cash. So my money's cash. Food is cash.
Food is cash, you know. It's some cigarettes are cash, you know.
Yeah.
The gambling that goes on. It's amazing,
Everything.
like all the different things that go on in there. The drugs, like when I got locked up, I wouldn't do anything except acid. The guy from the library, the hippie dude that killed his wife, had acid. He had a hookup for, because he was like one of those guys that liked to trip and shit, because they couldn't test you. They had to tap into your spine or something to get acid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could do acid and get away with it. But there's people in there doing meth by the gallons. There's people in there doing heroin by the gallons. I mean,
Are you
people with
serious,
syringes up their asses. Like I knew some 3 guys that just did heroin every day. And they knew the system because one of them worked in the office. Because when I went and got locked up, it would come out every morning. 3 people out of your prison would have to piss. But it would come up the night before on a computer. And this guy knew, not a computer, like they'd fax it or whatever. That's when the faxes were new. The state would release it the night before, and then they come and knock on your thing at 6 in the morning, and you had an hour to give them piss. Well, these guys stayed up all night, drinking water, vinegar, you know, whatever the fuck it was, you know. I mean, it was amazing. They had their own little system in there. Even when I went in there, I knew I didn't want to do coke, what I was in there basically for. I mean, that was the root of the whole problem. And I didn't want to smoke pot. I wanted to really give it a shot. You know, it was amazing. I laughed a lot in there, though, Felicia. You meet some funny fucking people. Fucking funny. I used the line before on you guys. There was a guy in there when I got locked up that used to say that he didn't like rapists. So if you came and sat at his table, he'd look at you and he'd go, motherfucker, didn't you fall out of a tree wearing a football helmet, motherfucker, with a bag of M&Ms? Get the fuck out of my table. I mean, I used to dial. When I said to him, what do you mean he fell out of a tree? He's a rapist, motherfucker. He fell out of a tree with a bag of M&Ms. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. Like, I laughed so much at someone. There was a black guy that you have to call collect to call people. But he would always end this conversation like this. Don't call here no more, bitch. Bam! And he'd hang up the phone and we'd die of laughter. Die! And he'd do it every fucking night. And every fucking night we'd die of laughter.
Yeah.
They didn't call him. He would call the chicks and they go, "Fuck you, bitch! Don't call him no more." He'd hang up on her. Fuck that whole dog. She ain't worth my time and shit.
Yeah, we had some characters.
There was, I mean, I could write. You got the meanest, the best guy I met there was a guy that looked like Don King, but he was cockeyed. I can't write that. And his name was Antoine Spencer Antoine. He was from something Louisiana. You know how they talk down there? And he would always say, till this day, I ask people out of respect for him, what time it is. It wasn't what time it was what time it is. And I remember one day somebody owed him $3. This motherfucker went into the kitchen. As he was walking, he goes, "Where'd that boy go? They're letting him out right now." He said, "With my $3? He went into that kitchen, got a knife this big, and chased that motherfucker for his $3. And I remember, "Dog, you got 6 months left." He's like, "I'll kill a motherfucker for $3.
Yeah.
This guy he was 54 and I was a kid, but he was like he took care of me. And he was
mentor.
the cook.
He was your Morgan
Oh,
Freeman.
dog, he made fucking Louisiana. But he told me he was in there for involuntary manslaughter.
Okay.
And he told me the story. He goes, "I killed a motherfucker in front of everybody on the street in Denver." He goes, "I paid my way out. Fuck that mother." And he had a gold tooth. Gold tooth, cockeyed, with his hair sticking straight up. There was no Jerry curls allowed in those days. So your hair went straight. And there was another brother called Graveyard. Why they call you Graveyard? Because I put motherfuckers in the graveyard. That was his name, Graveyard. Graveyard, they call him. That's a good fucking name. Yeah. I mean, you mean the extreme fucking black people, extreme. But I think of Spencer. Every time I say what time it is.
What is the hardest that you ever laughed in prison?
Hardest I ever laughed?
Like, was there a moment that was just...
Dude, on my birthday one year, we made Pruno.
What's that?
Alcohol. It's wine. We can make wine
in the toilet. They make beer in the toilet.
What?
Yeah, we made alcohol. Burn it with sugar. It's Pruno. You can look it up on Google. They'll show you.
So where do you get the sugar? You just trade for sugar? Or?
No, you
steal
someone
it out of the
works
kitchen.
in the kitchen.
You steal it from the kitchen.
Steal it from the kitchen, and everybody would get their oranges, and we would just grind them, and we would grind all the juice into a pillowcase, and then get the pillowcase and squeeze all the juice out the pillowcase and put it in a bucket. Then we would put sugar to bake it. In about 4 days, you got you some bomb-ass wine.
Really?
Strong.
These guys get fucked up. They get tuned up in that every level.
And I remember falling off my fucking bunk. I fell off my bunk to go to chow, and they're like, "Dude, stay here." And it was like 8 of us just in the showers laughing our asses off trying to sober up, because if they come and catch you,
you're done.
Fucked.
You're done.
Wow.
You're fucked.
Wow.
180 days added for that shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They added on to they catch you?
Yeah, they added 180 days because people are dying now. You know what I mean?
From drinking that shit.
Yeah, because some people don't know how to make it.
Right.
So all you're doing is eating bacteria. There was someone that went blind.
Yeah.
From drinking that shit.
Why? What kind of mistakes do
some people eat it they drink it too early.
Yeah.
And you need to have a thing called a kicker. It's all the old fruit. And then it eats up everything, and you're just, man, I'm gonna go make some Pruno when I get home.
Did you get into a fight there? Did you have any briefs in there?
Yeah, you know what? I had a lot. You know how it is, man. It's just
I didn't have a lot. I had one guy that had it out for me.
Yeah.
I had this little long-haired rocker dude, and it was kind of built that had it out for me. And he wouldn't bust my balls when he was alone with me. But he would bust my balls when he was around his buddies. But I knew a couple of his buddies. They were from the East Coast, so we clicked, but we're not really. But I had Spencer Antoine, and they used to play dominoes in the laundry room, and they would put on "Don't Be Cruel" by Bobby Brown. If you want to see black people go crazy, put on "Don't Be Cruel." When they jump around, and they would go crazy. Put it on again. Put that what time it is, and they just keep playing dominoes, and fucking great. And one day this kid was fucking with me, and he actually said something to Antoine, and Antoine came to me and goes, "That motherfucker wants to fuck you." I said, "All right, we'll give him some time." So I didn't really know how I was gonna fuck with him. So I got him in the laundry room on a Saturday morning, and I got him. I go, "What's your problem?" He goes, "Fuck you, motherfucker." I go, "You're alone." And he had long hair, so I tangled his hair with my hand. That's why I've never had long hair. I tangled his hair, and I grabbed the other one. I just banged his head off the fucking wall 15 times. That was the end of that. I'm gonna press charges. Fuck you, bitch. But he worked in the kitchen in another division, and all the kitchen people have to stay together.
Yeah.
So I stole the American cheese box. I told Felicia about this, and I took a shit in it, a long shit in it. And I took the thing that it had off the top. I had, because for American cheese they put an American flag on top. I took the American flag on. I put in a piece of shit, and I put the box over it, and I put it in his drawer under all his clothes and shit. So after about a week, that motherfucker started kicking. And it was him, me, and a Puerto Rican guy. Where everybody else in the kitchen is black. So the black people started smelling shit. You've never seen fucking black people go crazy till they smell shit and they can't find it. They were going, who smells like this in this fucking dorm? And I knew that shit was barbecuing. And look at Felicia's face. It was.
This is just so wrong.
Sizzling like
they
some
were like,
Pruno.
we're going to go through the fucking dorm and find this shit. They started picking up bureaus and the box fell out and that dead shrinkable shit. When I laid it, it was like 2 feet. By this time, it was like 4 inches and just the nutrients that stayed in there. But the flag was still holding tough like a motherfucker. Like a motherfucker. That dude demanded to transfer out of there. And we had like the cake unit. We had TVs in every room.
Oh, yeah.
Like nobody ever asked to get released.
Yeah.
When he seen that piece of shit, he was like, I can't take it no more.
Yeah, I'm mad.
And did you ever go to a halfway house?
No, they would. I heard those are crazy.
Those are crazy. Never in my life did I get my dick sucked like that till I went to a halfway house. Especially the co-ed ones, those little freaks.
Oh yeah, the co-ed ones
Notes
mandatory.
when you sign in. I would sign in. There'd be a sign. I remember the best blowjob I got was on a doorway. Like I knocked on the girl's door. There was 3 girls in the room. She, Patrice Twining. I even looked her up on Facebook. I've been thinking about it lately. She opened up the door. I took my dick out. She goes, "Where's the blow?" I gave her like a little rock. She had like a home dress on with her nipples out. She had fake titties. I took my dick out. The counselors were up the hallway. She was sucking my dick. You know how the door goes in and they have the wall on every door?
That's
She
the
said
blind spot.
I remember weighing coke in the halfway house. And she came in, the counselor, and I had a big pyramid. And the pyramids would sometime blow up and all the coke would go up all over the room. There was coke everywhere on the floor. And this bitch came in. She's like, "What's all this white powder on the floor?" I'm like, "The fucking ceiling's going down." And she walked out. I picked up every little fucking coke rock. I stole them. Bro, the best times I had were in that fucking halfway house. I took the air conditioner out of the big room and put it in my room. And then you had a 7-man room or you had a 3-man room. We had an old dude that looked like Norton that was a rat. He would rat on you if he did shit, so it was my job to get him out of there. I was loan sharking money in there because you have to pay rent by Thursday. Loan sharking 75 for 102. Gotta pay me back 102 on Saturday because everybody gets paid on Friday. But if you don't pay your rent by Friday, Thursday.
Well,
you
now
can't
they
go out.
take it out of your check.
Now they take. Oh, Felicia, it's brutal.
Really?
Yeah.
Brutal. So I would loan shark money, and then I got it all the way to stay out till midnight. I got them all the way out to keep me out till midnight. No furloughs, though.
Oh, yeah.
I would weigh coke in there. I would sell coke in there. I loaned money in there. It was a fucking 24-hour party in there. That was the best.
That'd be the
time.
best reality show.
The halfway house. I was fucked. That's where I did the tube. I gave them 2 hot UAs. They made me go to a rehab, like a facility rehab. And Patrice Twining was in the rehab, too. Because she came up positive from the coke I gave her. And during breaks, I'd fuck her in the closet during the breaks at the halfway house. This chick was a hot little chick from Detroit, bro. Crazy. You get those crazy little chicks with tattoos and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking crazy halfway house, Felicia Michaels. But the guy, you know how I got him out of my room? Finally? I put 1,000 of those little cigarette things in the cigarettes. When you light them, they blow up. This guy was one of those guys that woke up in the middle of the night and would light cigarettes up. And one night, bro, I said, I know how to get this guy out. And I stuffed every fucking cigarette he had with those explosives. And then he was on the bottom bunk.
Terrible.
He was on the top bunk, right? No, he was on the bottom bunk. So I loosened the top bunk, and our roommate worked nights, so he would come in like at 3 and get on the bunk. So that night, this motherfucker goes into the living room. I see the darkness, and I see the cigarette come out of the pack, and I hear the lighter, and you know, like the lighter reflection on the wall. I'm just watching this fucking wall. I'm not even watching him, Felicia. I'm just watching the wall. And all of a sudden I hear, and I see a light, and all of a sudden I hear him go, and all of a sudden I just hear, bah! And I'm like, what happened? I run out there, and he's just sitting on the couch with the cigarette exploding in his face in the dark. And he's like, he didn't even say nothing. So now he goes into his bed, and the guy walks in that's living on top of him, because I had the single bed. You know me, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
He's on the bottom bunk, and the top bunk is loose. This guy goes, "Ooh, am I so tired?" The old guy's in the bottom. He jumps on the bunk goes down, lands on the fucking old guy. When I got back from work the next day, the room was empty. I just had the Mexican, Alex Rea. I still remember, Alejandro Rea. I still remember my roommate at the halfway house and shit. That old man tapped out. He said, "Put me back in a 7-man room." Them motherfucking Cubans are crazy.
Yeah. He had to roll it up.
A lot of fun. Felicia, you should get locked up for a couple of days.
Yeah, I'll be your
I think I'll pass.
No, George, me and Felicia really wanted to have you on because we thought that,
Thank you, man.
you know, some people get enlightened by, you know, it's And as you can see, me and George, out of all the jokes we're cracking and shit, it's not, we're comedians. We had to make a joke out of it to coexist because they're taking your fucking freedom away. I want to give another shout out to our sponsors, TaintedVisionArt.com. Go over there. Go to the webpage right now, smoke a number, see what they got. They got great Christmas stuff. I also like to give a shout out to NOCC, the best in medical marijuana, 4850 Lancashire. I want to thank George Perez for coming out. Also, Felicia and myself, Joey Diaz, have dates available for comedy. If you want to book us at any of your comedy clubs or any private functions, we either come together or separate. We'll do whatever the fuck you need. Let us know. And also, Felicia, let us know about iTunes. What do they need to do?
Oh, you guys, if you could just go on iTunes and leave a review, that would be wonderful because that actually helps to drive our numbers and get us up in the rankings on iTunes. And by the way, thank you for listening because the numbers were absolutely fantastic last month. We appreciate that you take time to listen to us. And if you would like to book us, you can email us. That's how you can get us booked at beautyandthebeastpodcast@gmail.com.
Stay black, bitches. We love you.
Mwah.